Okay, we are getting into it today. What's up? How are you? I'm so glad you're here. This is going to be a quick, fiery episode for you, but it is so massive and so important, especially in this day and age that we're in right now, where everyone is like throwing protein down your freaking throats. Everyone's talking about protein, 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 and how it's like the only thing we need to focus on, like just have more organ meats, have more meat, like load up on the fucking protein for your body, like all this shit. And I am, of course, not saying that protein isn't important. Obviously, it is. We need protein for our muscles, for our blood sugar, for literally everything in our body. Of course, we need protein. By the way, protein is not just found in animal meats. Let's just start there. And this is also, in case you didn't know, I'm plant based, but and I have been since 2000. I became vegetarian in 2014. I became vegan in 2016, and I continued that now. I say plant-based now because I have eggs like randomly. Now that I started giving it to my daughter when like she started eating, I gave it to her just to, like, make sure she had no allergies. And I was like, "Ooh, I actually want a bite." I did a whole other episode on that. But anyway, my point is, this is not an episode about like don't eat any meat. Like, a lot of my clients will come to me before they become clients like, do I have to be plant-based? I'm like, no, of course you don't have to be plant-based. However, I do recommend eating way more plants than you probably are, and not loading up every single meal with all these animal products, especially if you are someone who deals with inflammation, you have endometriosis, you have a lot of cramping. But that's another episode for another time. We are just talking specifically in this episode about how there's so much talk and hype around loading the fuck out of your diet with protein. And yes, protein is important, but you're missing two key areas if you are just solely focused on protein. That is negatively impacting your fertility if you are not including this in your every single meal. Like, it has to be happening like that. And you most likely, or could be, missing out on these other two key things that you actually need to ovulate and to get pregnant, because you're being thrown out, like literally suffocated with this protein conversation. And those other two things that I'm talking about are healthy fats and fiber. So many people are fucking ODing on animal product proteins without actually having fiber with it. So if you are someone that does eat animal products, okay, cool, fine. But we need to be pairing that with fiber, and obviously also with healthy fats. We'll get to that, with fiber, so you can actually break down that protein and get it out of your body. Most people are having, like, the majority of their plate are like these animal meats, whatever it's like, beef, organ meats, whatever the fuck it is, and possibly like a small amount of fiber. And we need to switch that ratio around, because your body cannot break down that animal protein without fiber. And there's zero fiber in animal products. And what will happen is, if you are not getting enough fiber, you will be constipated. You won't be pooping properly, meaning at least 2 times a day in a nice banana shape. You're going within 1 to 2 hours of waking up. Like, you might also have more cramping, PMS, mood swings, breast tenderness, acne, migraines, like anything like this, irregular periods, struggling to conceive. All of these things can, like, fiber can contribute, lack of fiber, I should say, can contribute to all of these things. Because if you don't have proper fiber intake at every single meal to actually break down the animal products, if that's what you're having, and to just grab onto the excess hormones that are in your body. Like, fiber is what grabs onto our excess hormones, toxins, metabolic waste, all these things that are floating around our body. That's how we get it out of our body. That's how we excrete the excess hormones so it doesn't recirculate back in the body. That's how we excrete toxins that we just come in contact with from our food supply, from our environment, from everything. Our metabolic waste that just comes into our bodies from just our bodies doing what it needs to do every single day. The way we get that out of our body in an efficient way through our poop is fiber. So if you're not having enough fiber with every single meal, you are not only recirculating back excess hormones, mostly excess estrogen, like, because if you can't poop it out, you're just going to recirculate back in your body. And that's where those symptoms of painful periods, sore boobs, PMS, mood swings, migraines, heavy periods, clotting, like all of these will acne, all of these symptoms could be leading back to excess estrogen, especially if you do have endometriosis. That's huge for you too. But if you don't have enough fiber to get that excess estrogen out of your body, it's going to recirculate back and you're going to get those symptoms. And obviously that's going to affect your ovulation. It's going to affect how you feel during your period and just even throughout the month. And it's going to affect you getting pregnant. But also, you're not going to be able to excrete the toxins that you need to get out of your body. So that's going to build up in your body too. So we need to be talking about fiber more so than we need to talk about protein. Everybody knows you need to have protein. Like that's all anybody's ever talking about. We need to also be talking about proper fiber intake so that shit is not recirculating back into your body and causing these imbalances and causing these issues, not only just with your fertility, but we don't want to have toxins floating around our body. We need to get it out. So especially if you're having animal proteins too, you have to be pairing it with proper amount of fiber in every single meal. So if you're only focused on protein, you're not going to be focused on having, enough fiber with that protein. You're going to be negatively impacting your fertility. Okay. And so that's like the fiber conversation. And if you don't know what I mean, like fiber, pretty much any plant food has fiber in it. Okay. Animal products don't have any fiber. So if you're having an animal product, you need to make sure you're pairing it with some kind of plant food. Of course, certain plant foods have more fiber than others, but just in general, think plants, leafy greens, avocado, fruits, vegetables, like all of it. Okay. That's what fiber is. And that is what we need to be having with every single meal. I'm not going to be like, I want you to have 10 grams at every meal. Like, I don't measure that. I don't even know what does 10 grams of fiber look like. I don't fucking know. Like you don't need to know that. I just want you to have it with every single meal. And when you are having animal proteins, making sure that you're having more vegetables on your plate than animal products so that you can not only, support with the excess hormones, all the stuff that we just talked about, but also help break down that protein. You want to break it down. You want it. That's how your body's going to help digest it. It's going to coat your stomach. Like it's really important to have both together. Okay. So that's the first thing that we're like, people are not talking enough about. And they're just talking to you about ODing on all this protein and all these like organ meats is fiber. Okay. And the second thing is healthy fats. We literally cannot ovulate unless you have healthy amounts of healthy fats in your diet. This was one of the reasons why I was not ovulating and did not get a period for a full 2 years. It actually happened when I became vegan. When I became plant-based, that's kind of when my period went totally away. But don't get it twisted. You can 100% be plant-based and have a healthy cycle in pregnancy. Again, I was totally plant-based, no eggs, no nothing like that for years. Literally, I just started having eggs randomly, like once every few months last year. And I had my cycle was regular. I had a beautiful, healthy pregnancy, like all the things, zero animal products. So don't get it twisted. But I wasn't doing it properly in the beginning. And I wasn't having enough healthy fats. That was the major issue because I didn't know. I didn't fucking know. I was doing shit on my own. Like I didn't have this kind of information back then. Anyway, ovulation cannot happen unless you have enough cholesterol in your body to actually produce your sex hormones. Cholesterol is what produces our sex hormones. So if like estrogen, okay, and you can't ovulate unless you have estrogen, and you don't have enough estrogen if you don't have enough healthy cholesterol. So we need to be prioritizing healthy fats. And if you're like around my age, I'm 35 at the time of this recording, we grew up in the 90s and that was like low fat this, low fat that, don't have fat, it's gonna make you fat. So we have in our brain like, oh, I can't have fat, I gotta go low fat this, low fat that. Hell no. Okay. No, that is not the vibe anymore, which we know at this day and age too. But like in case you missed the memo, you need to have healthy fats, not just like once a day in every single meal. Okay. Because ovulation cannot happen regularly and it cannot happen in a strong way unless you have enough cholesterol, healthy cholesterol, I should say, in your body. Okay. So every single meal, I want you to have at least 2 tablespoons of a healthy fat with every meal. And healthy fats could look like any nuts like, raw almonds or pecans or walnuts or pine nuts or, macadamia nuts, whatever, seeds, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, whatever fucking seeds, sunflower seeds, any like nut butters or avocado. That's my go-to. I always like for my clients, I'm like, if you like avocado, have a half avocado with lunch, have a half avocado with dinner. It goes with pretty much everything. Boom, done. You're easy to go. It doesn't matter what size the avocado is, even if it's more than 2 tablespoons or maybe a little bit less. It's a small avocado. Like just do half of an avocado and you're good to go. And it's just like an easy way to measure it. But anyway, olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, like those are your healthy fats. I said coconut yogurt, things like that. Okay. Those are your healthy fats. So I want you to be having 2 tablespoons of that with every single meal as well. So if you're someone who's maybe having like a protein shake in the morning, you're like, you got your organic blueberries, your organic strawberries, you got some like kale in there, and you're like, I got my protein powder, I'm good to go. no girl, you're missing your healthy fats. You got to make sure you have that in there as well. Okay. Not only for, not only for the ovulation piece, but it's for stabilizing your blood sugar. And that's of course can help your ovulation as well. If you've been listening to this podcast for 0.2 seconds, you know that blood sugar is the name of the game. It is literally essential for your cycle and your fertility. I have never worked with a client who was trying to conceive or who had any issues that did not have some form of blood sugar dysregulation, because we were never taught how to actually eat in a blood sugar balanced way. And a lot of people think like blood sugar is just for people who have diabetes or PCOS, and it literally affects everybody because we all have the hormone insulin, and that's what's connected to our blood sugar. I'm not going to go into all of it right now, but it's extremely important to make sure that we are pairing every single meal and every single snack with a protein, fiber, and healthy fat. Okay. So you're not just like munching on an apple for a snack. You got to make sure you have some kind of healthy fats with it. We're not just having a protein shake with like, fruit in it. We got to have some healthy fats in there. You're not just having like a bowl of chicken, throw some fiber on there, throw some healthy fats on there. It's also going to help you feel more full. You're going to feel more satiated. You're going to poop better. Your moods are going to be better. Your skin is going to be better. Your blood sugar is going to be better. Your cycle is going to be better. Your ovulation is going to be better. It's going to help you get pregnant. Okay. So don't be so fucking laser focused on everybody talking about protein out the damn ass that you're missing out on two other key areas like that are really freaking important for your fertility, which is fiber and healthy fats. Okay. Now, if you want like and I know like this is not like a 90-minute training. So like if I should like say that every time I plug it, because I'm like, who the fuck has time to watch a 90-minute training? Like, I'm not sure, but I have a totally free training. I think it's like 15 minutes. It's straight from the Mind Your Hormones method. And every training in the Mind Your Hormones method, other than the supplement masterclass, that one's a little bit longer, are between like 15 and 20 minutes, because who has time to sit down for a 90-minute training? You want to get in, get out. You got to know the reason why you're doing the thing, what's important, what to do, and get the fuck out. Okay. So it's called how to create hormone and blood sugar balanced meals. And it's literally talking about what we just talked about here, that you need to make sure you have a protein, a fiber, and a healthy fat in every single meal. It's talking to you more about like the why behind it, because I don't just tell you like, hey, do this. It's like, well, why is this important? Like I just did in this episode, and like I do in every episode. That's the teacher in me. I was a teacher for 9 years, in case you didn't know. So why my courses are so good, because I know how to actually create curriculum. Again, another conversation for another time. But so I teach you why it's important and exactly what to do. And I give you like a breakdown. It's like a cheat sheet of like, here are protein sources. Like obviously, plant-based protein sources I put in there as well, because everyone already knows animal products are protein, but there's other, things there that do have protein in there. So we have that in there. I have sources of healthy fat lists for you, fiber, and like a smoothie tutorial. So it's like really, really beneficial for you to just listen and really like wrap your head around how you can so easily create these hormonal blood sugar balanced meals without just ODing on protein and thinking that's the only thing that you need to be having. And don't get it twisted. Don't come at me or be like, Corinne said I don't need to eat protein. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? That's not what I'm saying. You of course need protein. It's extremely important, but you need to also have your fiber and your healthy fat. So I'll put that free training in the show notes. Make sure you download it if you haven't already, and share this with a friend. As always, I am so appreciative of you. You're the reason why the show is growing, because otherwise it'd be just me talking to me, and that's not a vibe. Right? Like we want to be talking to themselves. So thank you for messaging me and letting me know if you love the show. Thank you for sharing it with your friends, your family, your coworkers, tagging me on Instagram. Like it's so helpful for the show to grow, for your reviews, for everything. I appreciate you. I love you, and I will talk to you on the next episode.
Thank you so much for being here. If you loved this episode and learned something valuable, please share it with a friend who you think would also love it, or post it on social media and tag me so I could personally say thank you for helping me spread this important message. I am beyond grateful to be here with you. So until next time, stay intentional, stay consistent, and always mind your hormones.